Hey, fourth graders, here we are. We're inside Mr. Crowell's house. We're in the living room. I'm not sure if you can see much of it, but it's a place I like to be. But today we're going to be doing lesson 4 in the house in the living room. So welcome to my house. We're doing lesson 4 up here in our ELA today. We're going to do reading pages 20 through 27, so make sure you have your book open. Remember, we're reading out of the anatomy of a volcanic eruption, so please find page 20 at this point, and you can be ready, and again, tracking with your finger or something that you can follow along. Today, as we follow along, we're looking for some vocabulary words. We've got 4 of them today. Categorize, number 1. Explodes, number 2. Intervals, number 3. Occurred, number 4. So looking for those words. Again, if you're in my class, remember, raise your hand. You don't have to raise your hand, but if you want to raise your hand out there, that's great. You can raise a finger, you can raise a thumb, whatever it takes. And then we'll talk a little bit about each one of those words, and of course then we have some reading and writing assignments that we will do in the end in our Reader Writer Journal. So, how you guys doing? Doing okay? Good? All right, here we go. Let's start. Page 20. Volcanic eruptions should be looking just like this. Page 20. These characteristics are used to categorize. Ding, ding, ding. Looks like we already just started off with one vocabulary words. Categorize. Categorize is a word, and I need to find my pen. It is something that we have that is basically something that is in order. It is something that is put together in order. So when you categorize something, you kind of put it into a systematic order, and that is what categorize is. So let's reread the sentence. These characteristics are used to categorize volcanic eruptions. They are the amount of material that is released during the eruption, the height of the eruption column, how long the eruption lasts. There are 4 major types of volcanic eruptions. So we're all talking about the different kinds of categories of eruptions. There is Volcanian, Hawaiian, Strombolian, and Plinian. Those are some words. Volcanian. Eruptions are named after a volcanic island in Italy called Volcano. I did not know that. These eruptions spew rock fragments, ash, and hot magma. Their eruption columns can reach as high as 12.5 miles or 20 kilometers into the sky. They are dramatic explosions of material being propelled at speeds up to 1,150 feet, 351 meters per second. These eruptions often occur when a lava dome explodes or when magma forcibly pushes a plug out of the volcano's conduit. Conduit's the very top. Explodes. I believe that is vocab number 2. Vocab number 2, explodes. What is explodes, Mr. Crowell? Explodes is to burst violently. So, bursting out violently, which would be an amazing thing to see, but don't be close. Stay away from volcanoes. Here we are. These eruptions are usually a series of brief pulses that can go on for days, months, or even years. And here we have a nice little photograph. We have a little label here, statue of the Roman god Vulcan. And then a fact down here at the bottom of page 20, the word Vulcan is Latin and was the name of the Roman god of fire. Did not know that. That's very interesting. Page 21, next page. Hawaiian. This is the second type of volcanic eruption. Hawaiian eruptions are the smallest and calmest of all the volcanic eruptions. They have an eruption column of about 1.2 miles, 2 kilometers, or less. They have a quick-moving lava flows and don't usually send out much ash. The most unique characteristic of a Hawaiian eruption is the lava fountain. Lava fountains spray liquid lava high into the air. And we see some picture of some lava with a big arrow going down. That's on page 21. Strombolian. This is the third volcanic type of eruption. Strombolian eruptions are small eruptions that occur at somewhat regular intervals, ding, 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 over a period of time. Regular intervals. That is our next vocabulary word. Thank you for raising your hand, your finger, your thumb, whatever you raised, or not, you just knew it. Intervals is a kind of a every once in a while. So it is kind of a every once in a while kind of thing. So it happens in intervals. It's happening kind of every once in a while. It could be happening in days, eruption, or years. It's just not happening all the time. It's just happening in intervals every once in a while. Okay. Over a period of time, they are named after a volcano in the Mediterranean on the island of Stromboli. This volcano has been erupting about every 20 minutes for hundreds of years. So in every 20 minutes is the intervals that this volcanic eruption happens. Strombolian eruptions have an eruption column of about 6 miles, 10 kilometers, or less in height. They are much noisier than Hawaiian eruptions and only occasionally produce lava flows. Page 22. Plinian eruptions are named after a Roman soldier named Pliny the Elder. His nephew Pliny the Younger wrote in an eyewitness account of the aftermath of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79. Ever since then, eruptions similar to that of Vesuvius have been called Plinian Eruptions. Plinian eruptions are the largest and most violent type of volcanic eruptions. Their great columns of hot gas and ash can rise as high as 30 miles. That is amazing. 30 miles, 48 kilometers into the air. The largest of these eruptions are often called ultra-Plinian. These deadly explosions look like giant mushroom clouds. Plinian eruptions often result in deadly pyroclastic flows and pumice bombs. Holy moly. Often, the entire volcanic mountain is destroyed by these massive eruptions, and we see that right there. Wow. I think Mount St. Helens had something like this. Mount St. Helens, look it up. I believe that's true. The eruption of Mount St. Helens, Mr. Krell's won't be very aware because there it is right there. In 1980 was a Plinian eruption. Very bottom one, the Pyroclastic Flow is a fast-moving flow of extremely hot gas and rocks from the volcanic eruption. There you go. Page 23, Under the Sea. A Cercarian eruption is a volcanic eruption that occurs underwater or very close to the surface of the water. They are similar to Strombolian eruptions, but are much more explosive. And here we have a little box here, caption box. An undersea volcano erupts off the coast of Tonga in the South Pacific Ocean. So we see it just exploding out. There it is, right there. I can't even see it. There it is. Page 24, boys and girls. 24. Volcanic Explosivity Index. Scientists have come up with a chart that helps them compare volcanic eruptions. They look at characteristics such as severity of an eruption and the amount of material in the eruption cloud. They also look at the height of the eruption cloud, the duration of an eruption, and other characteristics. Scientists then give an eruption a Volcanic Explosivity Index, a VEI number. This is similar to the number of the Richter scale that scientists use to describe the size of an earthquake. Check out some famous volcanic eruptions and their VEI numbers. And here we have that. Yellowstone National Park is a large dormant volcano of millions of years ago. When I went there with my kids, I did not know that. And here's a picture of the Yellowstone. Here is your index. We have our volcanic eruption. Mr. Krell, you're not showing it. There it is. And then we have the VEI index. So all of those right there, please check them out. There's lots of different kinds and different indexes. On the very fact on the very bottom, scientists believe that one of the largest ever volcanic eruptions occurred, ding, 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 number 4, vocabulary, millions of years ago in what is now Yellowstone National Park. This eruption had a VEI of 8, which sounds like it was a pretty big one. So occurred. What is occurred, Mr. Krell? It is something that happened. So it happens. And it also is something that takes place. And I'm not sure. I'll come over it up. There it is. There it is. All right. So, occurred. Something that happens and something that takes place. Page 26. We're almost done. Page 26. The materials of a volcanic eruption. Tephra, rock fragments that erupt from a volcano. They vary in size. Larger pieces are called blocks or bombs. They can weigh as much as 30 tons, 27 metric tons. Wow, that's very heavy. Similar pieces are called ash, and here we see some tephra rock layers in our photograph. Down below, we see the ash cloud. This is page 26, boys and girls, page 26, the bottom of page 26. The ash cloud of volcanoes made of volcanic gases and tephra. When this material mixes with volcanic molecules in the atmosphere, acid rain can form. So here is a Mount Redut eruption. We see the big arrow there showing us the ash cloud. Page 27, this is our last page. Here we are. A lahar is a volcanic mudflow. It is formed when volcanic material mixes with ice or water in lakes and rivers near the volcano. Lahars are heavy like wet concrete. They can also be large. A lahar in Washington State near Mount Rainier was 460 feet deep, or 140 meters. So, yes, Mount Rainier in our backyard. I can see it every day. Beautiful mountain. Back millions of years ago, it had a lahar that kind of came through near Puyallup and where we live today. And of course, then Mount St. Helens, we see that in that little text label there, it also had a lahar. A pyroclastic flow is like a snow avalanche, except it's made of scorching hot tephra and toxic gases. This is by far the most dangerous and deadly part of volcanic eruption. A pyroclastic flow can travel more than 60 miles, 97 kilometers per hour, and cover everything in its path with a thick layer of sizzling debris. That is not good. Down below, on the bottom of page 27, lava flows come in many different varieties. Such scientists group them according to the type of magma the flow is made of. Scientists also consider how hot the lava is and how fast it travels. And here we see at the bottom of page 27, the lava flow of Kilauea volcano in Hawaii. I believe that happens just about every day. You can go to Hawaii. Some of you may have gone to Hawaii, and you can see those, I believe, still flowing out of Mount Kilauea. All right, end of page 27. We are done with our reading. Let's check out what your assignment is. And this is for Lesson 4, boys and girls. Lesson 4, if you are following the schedule, is for Thursday, the 23rd. And it is, if you're pacing along, this is for Lesson 4. So we read an assignment in grab your Reader Writer's Journal. It is on page 267. You are to, again, write us some words in a sentence over categorize, explodes, intervals, and occurred right there. And then down below, directions. Reread page 22 through 23 of Anatomy of Volcanic Eruption. Write a paragraph summarizing the information of these pages. Use information from the web, so you can go online, and that you created that shows the most important ideas of these pages and support your answer. There is your reading response. Then for writing, please go to page 269, which is just right across from 268. And at the very top is our writing assignment directions. Write several paragraphs about the volcanic eruption you chose. Organize your information in a logical way to clearly show your readers what happened. So make sure you use sequence of events. You know, you guys can do all that. And again, if the space is not big enough, I would get a lined or a notebook piece of paper and just write to your heart's content. So there you go. Boys and girls, thank you very much. Good luck with your reading response in writing and your writing assignment. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you again here back on the video. And again, maybe I might be outside, I might be inside. We'll find out. Have a great day. We'll see you later.